Welcome to our Kaikohe-Hokianga community meeting today, Friday 19th of April 2024. We'll start with karakia.
Pauhihiri, paurarama, pau te whakaaro, pau te tamata, pau te aroha. Te pau ehere nei ia tātou, mai ora kia tātou, haumie, kuie, tātou.
Thank you. Trinity, welcome everybody to our meeting this morning, to our elected members and staff and those people who are online. Special welcome to our public people here. Welcome Fiona, nice to see you. Our first mention on the agenda are apologies. We do have member Edwards online. Do we have any other apologies?
Just foreshadowing, I'll be out for a small part of the meeting.
Thank you. Moving on to public forum this morning, welcome to Fiona Bannister, who's here to speak to us in regard to ongoing issues in Ngāwhā. Welcome, Fiona.
Kia ora koutou. My name is Fiona Bannister. I was born in Kaikohe and brought up in Martha Springs. I spent 95% of my time there. Also the chairman of the local ratepayers association, been on that committee for 40 years. Actually, I'm the top family liaison for the power stations as well as the Martha Springs representative. I'll start with a good thing, and that's to say thank you very much for cleaning our drains. To qualify that, it only took 23 years. So then we'll move on to the main sewerage issue, which is what I'm about. For people who don't know, about 50 houses in Martha Springs joined to the Kaikohe sewerage. I have to explain that because we live in a hole, what you have is a tank outside your house and a pump that pumps whatever's coming out of that tank to Kaikohe. Right now, out of the 30 houses that joined, 12 of the pumps don't work. So what that means is, and it's been nearly 3 years now, daily trips from Ventia and Bay of Island Septic who come out and empty these 18-litre tanks every day. What this causes is noise, trucks through the district, pumping, pumping, pumping. Smell. We live in Martha Springs, but there's a big difference between Ngāwhā and Tico. Nuisance, because there's a tiny little roads out there. 2 vehicles can't fit on that road, so you have a truck, so it holds everybody up. And then finally, the driveways have been destroyed by these trucks, and that's made aware because right now they're fixing someone's driveway at cost to the council. The cost is horrendous. To actually empty a septic tank in Ngāwhā is $500. When I mentioned this to somebody on the phone at the council, I was told, no, we get a deal. And kia ora to you. Even if it's only $100 a day, in the last 3 years you spent over 100 grand emptying out little. Even if. Now, we paid 2 and a bit grand for rates in Ngāwhā. We can't get a drain clean for 23 years. You're spending 100 grand in 3 years on something that should have been fixed from the beginning. What's going on in our little village? And because of the tonga down the hill, everything washes off the hill down into that hill, down into those pools. So that's a problem. The reason I'm here is because I've been trying to get through that blank call reception for the last 3 months to get information. I've had many phone calls, many phone calls. Nobody's told me a thing. I've had to find this out by going and talk to Ventia, who told me, yes, we have to do 12. So that's 6 a day because you can't pump all those out in one day. I've talked to the council and nobody wants to talk about it. I'm scared about what's the secrecy. What are you hiding, the council? That's why I'm here, because they're not talking to me. I've been told not to talk to the contractors. Rubbish, I'm an individual, I can talk to who I like. I've been told I'm not to talk to anybody behind reception. Rubbish, I pay rates. I should be able to talk to anybody at the back of this office. I walked in here today and talked to someone at the stairs who said, you're wasting your time coming here, Fiona. So, that doesn't help my taki. It just upset me more. So now, because I've been very unwell the last 5 years, cancer, I haven't been on board. I'm on board now. I'm still sick. So I'm going to land this on you guys because I'm fed up. Now, I'm surprised that there hasn't been a major drama down there because all you need is some tickle in that water that people swim in, and there's a major drama. So I'm just asking that you fellas try and get someone to contact me because all I want is information. It doesn't look good. It looks like you're hiding something. And I talk to you because I have nowhere else to go. But that's all I've got to say about that. And that's just one of the many things that is out there. I even got a number, 4192038. I've run them a million times. Got nothing.
What number is that?
4192038, and that's the number they gave me when I come in to complain.
Is that a phone number or is that an RFS number?
That's that number they give you when you
Oh,
ring.
yes.
Yes. So I've had a couple of phone calls from Jamie, which were lovely. Really appreciate her. But who is she?
Who was that called?
Jamie. AP to PA to somebody. Lovely lady. Had a wonderful talk to her. Couldn't help me. Called me, but couldn't help me. So the point being, okay, so I'm going to stop whining now. So that's what I come for, and I didn't appreciate being told that I shouldn't have come. Didn't appreciate it.
Sorry, Fiona, how do you mean?
You going to say anything, Mike? No. He told me I'm wasting my time coming here. We met me outside and told me I'm wasting. That is exactly what you said, isn't it? It is what you said. Shall we call the little Asian man in so he can take talk of your korido? Because that is what you told me. You told me I was wasting my time coming here.
Okay, well, Fiona, I can tell you that you won't waste your time. You know me from a long time ago.
Yes, I do.
And that's our job, is to help. We're the conduit between the public and council.
Thank you very much, Chippy.
So,
That's what I'm
you know, and members here, that's what we're here for, to help you, to support you, to make sure that the health and safety matters that you've expressed this morning are completed to your satisfaction, or at least started, and some information shared with you. And it is frustrating, and I can hear your frustration. So thank you for coming to see us this morning. Do any members have any questions for Fiona?
Yeah, I have one. Thanks, Fiona, for that. Basic Community Board is to advocate on your behalf. I'd like to, is there any particular information that you actually want? I take it that you actually want the situation to be looked at. There's two things that I would think the Community Board can do, and that is make a request for that total operational cost that's going on there. So I think we have that anyway. And look at the current system, whether it's actually got systemic failure in its design. I don't think, based on what you've said, and I've heard from others, that the design is a good one. Because if I remember NAPA, most of it slopes downhill, it's just related. So I would have thought gravity feed to a central point where you have a major pump and pumps it up the hill.
Got both of those.
Be the smarter way of doing it.
They really decide. We've got the pump right beside the main road, and it pumps up the hill, and it gets pumped a lot. But they needed the pumps in the houses to pump it from there to the major pump. Just had to have it.
Yeah. So, and prior to that, you had septic tanks, which are not good because that all gravity feeds downhill. But it's, okay, I think it's a design
And
issue.
I must say here, it's never worked well, never.
Yeah.
If you look into the history of this, and I encourage you guys to look into the history because it's been going on for a long time, close to 20 years. It's never really done well. It's never done what it's meant to do. So a lot of lessons were learned from that.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be the ones who have to wear the...
One other question is the new, the new Nathalie Sprinklers are pretty great. And we want tourists to come there.
Yeah.
What do they do with their sewage? Is that being pumped up hills where they're being pumped as well?
Who said their calls?
Yeah. No, look at the balls you're talking about. The sewage in that balls that's there for the tourists.
Yeah, they're on the same one. They use the
And
same.
then pumps up hills to them.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's main pumps like that wrong. We can make a really easy.
Yeah, and this is what I just want more information. Because once you have information, you can do something. If you've got no information, then you can just bargain into this. Yeah.
Just a quick clarify the new information for me. So just to clarify, council actually own the tanks and the pumps that are at each household.
Yes.
Thank you.
There's an alarm on and it goes, every time it breaks.
Each time every one of the pumps breaks.
Yeah, the little alarm goes off to tell you because it couldn't not go off. Because sooner or later it'll just spill out a little 18 litre, my 18 litre tanks, which just meant to be 2 days worth of. But if the alarm doesn't go off, then it'll just spill out on the ground.
So a good question related to what Member McBain's raised. I think council maybe own the asset, but you pay the power, is that correct?
Yeah, yes. I'm not actually joined up. I never joined up because I knew there was going to be an issue. I knew right from day one, and I wasn't happy with our sewage being pumped into the Hokianga, so I just never joined up. And I'm so glad I never did because the dramas that have gone on, exploding holes in the middle of the footpath, that sort of carry on. But anyway, I just encourage you to read the history.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for leading.
Councillor Kaikohe has a comment, Fiona.
Just a comment. So you've never connected to the sewage? No. Do you get charged for that? Do you still get a charge on your?
You get a charge, uncharged. But what goes with that is every 5 years you have to have it checked. You have to have it pumped. The check is actually dearer than the pump. So you get it pumped every 5 years because you don't want to pay the council the check, which is dearer than the pump. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it was put in there for that reason, and it's a great reason. You need to have it. Your septic tank should be, up until the drains were cleaned, most septic tanks were starting to spill over because the water was being detained in the village, because we have a swamp behind the village. Now the drains are being cleaned, my septic tank dropped 3 foot. So there's an issue. Thank you very, very much.
Fiona, for bringing that to our attention.
Okay, thank you.
We have speakers next, number 5, and we've got representing Living Theatre Home, I come to number 7.3 on page 30, Sarah Burrow, who's joining us virtually. There she is. Kia ora, Sarah.
Can you just unmute, please, Sarah?
Oh, kia ora koutou. Would you like me to start?
Yes.
Kia ora koutou, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you today. We would love to bring our glow show to the children and whānau of Kaikohe and Hokianga. We're staging the actual show Bad Jelly the Witch, which is 50th anniversary since the book was written. We've got the stage rights to take this through New Zealand. We'd love to be in the Turner Centre on the 8th of July, the beginning of the school holidays. We're applying for funding because we would really love to be able to gift some tickets to children who, like we have in the past, the last couple of years, due to your support. We work with Bald Angels and the people at Turner Centre to make sure that those tickets are distributed correctly. This would help us underwrite a lot of our production costs to get there with 9 people on the road. We're particularly wanting to kick off the tour in Northland, which is where our glow shows started in 2017 with Matariki Glow Show, Te Moana Glow Show, and Wonderland Glow Show. And as I said earlier, Bad Jelly the Witch is a New Zealand favourite, but we're putting our own slant on it with these giant scale glow in the dark puppets. So the magic happens under ultraviolet light, and the show is for children 7 years and older. And we would love to think that we can bring some real joy and heartfelt, good quality theatre to Tamariki in Northland.
Thank you, Sarah. Do any members have any questions for Sarah?
Kia ora, Sarah. Jessie McBain from Hokianga, South Hokianga. So I did read your application. You talked about being able to offer tickets to Tamariki and Kaikohe, and hopefully Hokianga is included in that offer. And how do you go about ensuring those tickets go over this side to enable Tamariki to go? And how many tickets, please?
So everything's funding dependent, of course, is to answer your question directly there. We work closely with the Turner Centre and also Bald Angels in the past. Teresa from Bald Angels has gone right into the community, and she knows the areas of children that are the most affected and who would actually benefit potentially most from a ticket. So that's how we administer that.
An estimate of how many free tickets might come over?
In the past, we've gifted 60 tickets, anything up to 60 tickets.
In general for the show?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sarah, I understand that the Tudor Centre is a lovely venue. Have you considered coming to Kaikohe so that our Hokianga community have a closer distance to travel?
We would love to come straight to Kaikohe, but we need a venue that's got complete blackouts. It's been a real problem for us in the past because we do have pipes and drapes, as in black drapes and everything, but that's a huge, it's almost like we need a day to set those up, because the whole magic happens under a black box environment. So obviously we have to have, the stage setting so that people can see in the dark, obviously, and also for audience members coming in and those who need to get out of the theatre quickly. But the problem is we need a black box to kick off the show, and that's been our biggest concern, to be able to go into areas that don't have that. Yeah.
Thank you. Any further questions for Sarah? No, thank you, Sarah.
Our
next speaker is virtual as well. Is Nick?
Nick isn't online yet. I have been chasing him.
He was
on. We don't see him at the moment, but we do have Joe Lynch.
We have Joe Lynch online representing Ataka Thompson. Item number 7.3 on page 50 for us. Kia ora, Joe.
Kia ora, folks. Thank you very much for providing me some time to present on our kaupapa. Firstly, thank you very much for the past funding that you've given us to support youth onto our program. Hopefully you all got the chance to read the report that we sent back to you. So we've applied once again for 2 spaces for young people to join the Ataka Thompson Youth Development Voyage. So this is to youth specifically from your region getting the opportunity to come on our program who couldn't otherwise afford to come. And so just to give you a quick background of what we do, I'm sure most of you have heard of our program, but I'll give you a quick overview. Does that suit?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So we run a youth development program on a tall ship in the Bay of Islands. We take 12 young people out for 7 days into the Bay of Islands. And of course, we do all the things that you'll understand. We teach them to sail, go hiking, fishing, swimming, snorkeling, and really enjoy the history of the Bay of Islands. But ultimately, what we do is create a sense of belonging and bring these young people together as a family. So that we select our young people from all over Northland, working with our schools and communities, iwi, marae, to bring the young people on in a way that they don't know one another. So it's a really important piece of their development to leave behind their kind of I'm the big sister, I'm the bossy one, I'm the loud one, I'm the naughty one, and they can come and be who they authentically are. It's really a key ingredient to their development. And we see significant changes from day 1 to day 7. We have Otago University track that progress and the shifts in their self-esteem and confidence, their resilience, their view of themselves, their view of their future, every single time shifts. So we have very, very consistent results. We fund this by running a tourism program in the summer, applying for grants and sponsorship, and we subsidise each placement, and we just ask whānau to contribute what they can. So the application I put forward to you folks is for 2 placements for young people from Kaikohe and Hokianga who couldn't otherwise afford to come. Do you have any questions?
Sarah, do you send information to all the secondary schools in our area, and then do those schools nominate children, or what's that process look like?
Yeah, it's not a transaction for us. We know those schools, we know those teachers, we know those communities. We work really hard with all of our network in a way that they help us find the young people that who they think would benefit from the program. It's for all types of kids, so not just the kids that are challenged, kids that are doing very well so they can hone their leadership skills, all the way through to some who might need a confidence boost. But our teachers and our communities know best who those kids are. It's actually not easy to find the young people. It's a real a very proactive approach. We don't have a waiting list, and people are not just signing up online and buying a ticket. It's a process where we get to know those kids in whānau through the schools. So absolutely, all the schools and community groups in your area, we work with them really closely. It's a continuous effort to build those relationships.
Okay. Any further questions for Sarah?
Joe, it's Joe.
Joe, sorry, Joe. Sorry.
Yeah, good day, Joe. John Message here. First one, just a request for information. When you do your report, can you give some of the evidence? Maybe the I don't know if we can publicly show the names of the people, but the 2 from this have been selected, keep them anonymous, but just getting some feedback on their reaction and their response and the positive impact it's on them. I think legal one would like to see that. I think others would as well, but you can take the names off if you like, if your reports are there.
So have you seen the reports that we send back usually has exactly that, but I can check it out.
Yeah, please do. I might have missed that if it has, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Member Fair. My niece has been one of the people from the tauira from Hokianga that has benefited from going on RJ Thompson, and has made lifelong friends in that space and grows in village. Yeah, total.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
So any further questions for Joe? No, thank you for the mahi you're doing with Rangatahi, Joe. Well done.
You're welcome. Ka kite.
Ka kite. Okay, do we have Nick Carroll back online yet?
Not yet, but he said he is joining, but we do have Liam Keelty from Waimaku online, than Courtney in person.
Oh, where's Courtney?
She was going to come in person, but she's got Liam Keelty online instead of Keelan. Liam.
Kia ora, Liam. No, that's actually not. No. That's Liam. That's Leslie Kelly. And he's here representing the Waimaku Community Garden, item 7.3 on page 58. Kia ora, Liam.
Tēnā katoa. Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for hearing from us on, I guess, the behalf of this application on behalf of the Waimaku Community Garden. So we've been running for a number of years in Waimaku at the bottom of Title Road, helping to reduce food insecurity within the area. We have a coordinator in place, but we're seeking support for operational costs over the next year. So specifically, that support would cover a slight upgrade to our tool library. So we have a range of tools, including rotary hose and other machinery that are available to the community to use for their own gardening purposes. And we also looking at holding another series of workshops over the course of the next year. Our previous workshops have been very well attended. especially for such a small area. We'd like to see these continue, and yeah, it'd be nice to have the support to be able to provide a koha for our facilitators who come in to lead those workshops. Yes, so that's primarily what we're seeking support for, as well as yeah, koha for our contractor who does the mine and other kind of yeah, infrastructure work at the site.
Thank you. Liam, any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. G'day, Liam. John, Mr. Chair. I'm actually quite delighted to see the commitment to the community over the years and the growth of your commitments is laid out in the documents you come through. But my question is, have you got a strategy to be self-sufficient? I'm just thinking of accounts in various places that exist, and if you can produce excess, I know that there's the community garden, you can use excess to generate income that way. So that's my question. Strategy for self-sustaining self-sufficiency.
Yeah, so we're currently in place with our coordinator for the course of this year, so her wages are currently covered, and we're looking at developing a number of kind of projects throughout the course of the year in terms of further distributing kai or having excess. Currently, our coordinator works with the local marae, Te Whakamaharatanga and the Opunoni Area School as well to distribute excess kai. As well as distributing through our Pātaka kai that we set up outside the Foursquare and Resource Centre in Waimaku. So currently we're kind of looking to be a bit more self-sufficient and sustainable, but balancing that with our kind of direct support of the community and also other groups within the area. So I think there's a bit to work through in regards to that, but we're looking at other ways we can kind of support our work.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liam. Your organisation is far-reaching in our kura, iwi o manaia, tamariki, tōkana, regularly go and visit and learn from you at your resource centre and take those sustainable practices back into our kura and now into our whānau. So we appreciate you even as far into the centre of the universe as o manaia. So ngā mihi kia koutou tō koutou mahi.
Kia ora.
Thank you, Liam. Any further questions? Member McVeigh.
Just a quick comment. I see the mahi that's happening out there. It's just amazing, really beautiful, and the involvement and the wider effects that it has on building community resilience. So, yeah, well done.
Supplementary question. Hello. Yeah, just quickly. If we wanted to visit, I presume that we can come in and talk to somebody to have a bit of a visit to see firsthand some of those things. Sure.
So our coordinator is Rosa Rutherford, so I could pass her details on to you if you want to make contact and arrange a visit. I'm sure she'd love that. We have regular working days on Mondays as well, if you'd like to come down and
I like it. I'm really impressed with that answer. Thank you.
I was going to say, we'll come when the silver beat are nice and big, eh? Thank you.
No,
thank you, and thanks for our members' comments. Really cool kaupapa, Liam. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Right.
Awesome. Kakite. We have online Nick. Oh, no, he's gone again.
No, he's there. He's just going to talk.
Oh, he's there. Kia ora, Nick. Nick's here leading the Momentum Trust item 7.3 on our box, page 40.
Thank you, everyone. My turn to talk.
Aye.
Thank you. So I'm Nick Carroll from the Momentum Charitable Trust. I think it's a bit of an overview of Momentum. It kind of exists to support people in prison and on probation. And we kind of do that in two ways. One is supporting life skills programs, life and financial skills programs into prisons and probation centres around Aotearoa. And the other is an initiative which is a mentor program for people being released from prison. There's not a lot of support for people being released from prison. And that's kind of why Aotearoa's reoffending rates are so high. 60% of people will reoffend within 2 years of release and go back to prison, which is kind of not good enough as a society. So So we have a pilot running for our mentor program at the moment with the men's prison in South Auckland. We have 10 men that have gone through the life and financial skills programs. And then we have 10 volunteers from the community that we've trained to be mentors and support these people as they sort of transition out of prison and back into the community. And I guess, yeah, so they are volunteers, and they kind of meet and get to know their mentee or before they're released from prison for sort of 6 months, and then they have 12 months together post-release. And we have quite a structured mentor program that we're piloting, which is kind of workshop-based, but essentially helps someone get set up and underway in the community with employment and housing and everything. So we're hoping to have 2 more pilots starting this year at another Paramaribo prison and Wiri Women's Prison in South Auckland. I guess the initiative, we support the programs into probation centres. So the funding that we've requested is for 2 one-day programs to be run at Kaikohe Probation Centre. So I see everyone from your community will be going there, and I guess people that are going to a probation centre, it's either they've been released from prison and they have to report into that probation centre, but most commonly it's when someone's committed a crime and they have been given a community sentence, so they haven't done something bad enough to go to prison, but they have to serve community hours, and rather than sort of picking up rubbish or doing something like that to do those community hours, they can actually use their hours and go on programs where they can actually learn. So this is the 2 one-day programs that we want to provide support into Kaikohe Probation Centre. And the 2 programs are basically, one is around work-ready skills and the other is around, you could say, financial literacy. So work-ready is everything around sort of preparing and making sure they lead with a completed CV. We do a personality profiles kind of workshop, which gives them things they can put into their CV, which is all of their sort of strengths and weaknesses and motivations. And then the other one is around job interviews, so helping them prepare responses to common interview questions and what to wear, and actually role-playing job interviews. And then the second one-day program is around financial literacy, which is everything around sort of debt and budgeting and saving money, KiwiSaver, things like that. And it's basically just trying to give people the basic skills and I guess the motivation to want to use those skills. And you'll see with our application, we would have included debrief reports from past one-day programs at Kaikohe Probation Centre. So you'll see the kind of direct feedback from the people that have been on those programs. And that's kind of the gist. Were there any questions?
Yes. Kia ora, thank you. I think it's a great program. I am one of the supervisors of community workers who come out. And so I meet probably some of the people who will be coming to your courses. Yep. Much needed, really great opportunity. I do have a point that we only fund 50% of applications, so it's probably a reminder that I give to a few people who put applications in. So, yeah. Okay,
and that's kind of fine if that's the level.
Cost. Yeah, that's the policy that we have, 50% of the cost of the program. So, applications. Yeah. Kia ora.
Yeah, I do have a question, Madam Chair. When you generate your report, should we give you money? Can you please give some outcomes, i.e. the percent that are going onto your program that do not, that don't reoffend, so 4 months or 24 months in long-term employment, please, which is great.
Yeah, so or the supplier of the programs aren't allowed to follow people post the programs. So in those debrief reports that we supplied, it kind of shows, we measure the learning that's taken place during the programs. But that's what we're hoping with our mentor program is we'll actually be working with the individuals post-programs and post-release from prison. So we'll actually be able to provide those statistics, but we're not essentially allowed to follow up those people that are on a probation program.
Okay. Unfortunately, I think that's probably a question that others can actually provide these to you, so you get some sort of idea of the effectiveness of your program. Without seeing that, I do wonder how you can measure success.
Yeah, I guess at the moment we measure the success of the learning that's taken place and the increase in learning that's taken place in the different areas. So you'll see a graph on the in the debrief report. But again, we're not actually allowed to follow people up. Corrections are, but we're not as an organisation allowed to follow them up after the programs.
Yeah, I'm not asking that you follow them up. I'm suggesting that you can go to corrections and saying how effective in this, how effective have we been in our program.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. That's a good point.
Councillor Copper.
Sorry, it's a little bit hard to hear, but are you going to put a mentor or wanting to put a mentorship program in at NAFA as well? Is that the idea?
Yeah, future plan. At the moment, where the pilots are taking place in Auckland, just purely because we're Auckland based, but we do support a lot of programs into NAFA as well.
Well done.
Thank you. Councillor Copper.
Kia ora, Nick, Dave Kapa, Te Tokerau. Tell me, who are you working with, or are you working with, in terms of other groups, in particular around in NAFA?
Probably not community. I guess we support the programs and the programs delivered. So you could say we work with the individual sites, but mainly, yeah, the Department of Correction staff who basically provide us how many programs they ideally want in the area or need in the area. And then it's corrections are the ones that work with the other agencies in the local community.
So just add, I'm just wondering whether you are in contact with the hapu programs that are in the in NAFA.
Short answer, no, we're not. Sorry.
Because I understand there's Ngati Rangi, Ngati Hine. There's a few other hapu. But you're based in Auckland.
We are as an organisation, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nick, you mentioned corrections. Do they contribute any funding towards this program?
They have limited funding, and that's kind of the problem at a probation level as well as a prison level. So that's why, yeah, we can try and support more programs in there because they don't have the funding to be able to pay for it. It's kind of, they've had their budgets cut this financial year as well, so it's kind of only getting worse. So if programs like this aren't supported by community funders, then they kind of just won't exist. And you'll know that if you've been working in the probation centres.
Okay, so you mentioned 20 individuals in your application, and it's 2 days for 20 individuals.
Yeah, so it can be 20 different individuals. Often the Work Ready program is run on a weekday, so Monday to Friday. That's often people who are serving a community sentence are unemployed or not employed or seeking employment. And then the financial literacy course is often run in the weekends because that's when people are still serving a community sentence or community hours, but they are employed. So that's why they're going to the probation centre on a weekend day.
Thank you. Any further questions? Thank you for your time, Nick.
Cool. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Thanks, Nick.
No one else? We've got everyone now and we're finished. Okay, so we'll move into our previous minutes on page 8. Page 8, that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board confirms the minutes of the meeting held 22nd of March 2024 as a true record. Thank you, Councillor Vusic, who's moved that. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Member Elia. Any discussion about the minutes? All those in favour? Any against? Any abstentions? No, that's carried. Moving on to funding reports. 7.1 on page 14.
I'll move that.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll read that. So, the recommendation for the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board name a new road to Punawai Lane that is currently addressed at Reservoir Road, Kaikohe. Member Edmonds has moved that. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Vusic. Any discussion around that? Renaming of the road?
No, I'll make a quick comment though, that I see the two names that were requested and I see the response that came back to why it couldn't be used, which makes a lot of sense. And then 2 additional names being put forward. So it appears all in order to me. I don't see any issues, so that's why I'm happy to just signal and support it.
Any further comment or discussion on that? All those in favour? Aye.
Aye.
Any against? No, no abstentions. Thank you. That's carried. Moving on to the Winter Rural Travel Fund application on page 19. Recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board allocates rural travel grant funding in accordance with the recommendations received from Sport Northland as follows. Hokianga Rugby Sub-Union, Kaikohe, $2,000. Hokianga Sports Club, $1,200. Kaikohe Rugby Football Sports Club, $2,000. Kaiho Junior Rugby Club, $1,000. Omanai School, $1,048. Opanoni Area School, $500. Opanoni JMV, $1,200. Pangaru Rugby Football Club, $1,000. Pangaru School, $1,000. Hawarewa School, $700. Rawani School, $1,000. Taimai or Hawaii Junior Rugby, $2,000. Umawera School, $700, and Okaiho College, $1,000. A total of $16,348. Do I have a mover for that motion? Thank you, Member Gundry. I have a seconder. Thank you, Member McVeigh. Any discussion around those?
Just comments I've made previously, Madam Chair, is that there's a lot of distance involved in the Kaikohe-Hokianga area. Generally, a lot of travel. But in the past, we've actually had a presentation done by Taylor. And I'm just wondering, just a general comment to and how these numbers have come up and that we're satisfied that they will fair and, because I think they are, and I don't have an issue with that.
Chair, I'm happy to address that if you like. So when we get all the applications in, Hayley, myself, and also Leslie Wallace, who's the other Sport Northland connector in this area, we all get together and go through them. We work out what the per person cost we can allocate. If you look at the attached spreadsheet, we've tried to show some of the breakdowns. So what it could be if we divide it by the number of participants or just granted. What we have found too is that because Sport Northland have withdrawn their funding to do it themselves, a lot of the applications that we would have got previously from schools are now actually being referred on to Sport Northland with Tūmanawa funding. However we slice the pie, it's not going to be fair to everyone. We just do what we can and we try and be as fair as we can. Most of the applicants are further afield, so they're not necessarily the ones in the towns like Kaikohe. Yes, we do have Kaikohe in here, but most of them are Pangaru, Pawaringa, Rawani, further on out.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Any further questions? Is that, do we have a mover for that recommendation?
Yeah, I will.
And we all second it. Okay, all those in favour? Aye. Any against? No.
Before we go, I just note, I think, did we do an apology? I know it's one member, so we did do that.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's like,
Trinity's online.
Trinity's up there.
Hello, Trinity. See you there.
Yeah.
All right. And application on page 24. Okay. We'll go through them one by one. The first recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approve the sum of $3,000 plus just if applicable, be paid from the board's community grant fund account to Living Theatre Charitable Trust for the costs of the production of Bad Jelly the Witch. I have a mover for that. recommendation.
Maybe we should move this point to end of a full frank discussion, is that? Can you move that way?
Through you, the chair. There's a couple of ways if members want to have a full and frank discussion, you can have a full and frank discussion and then move the and amount before moving the recommendation as it is in the agenda. Or as you just put it on the table and there's not a number, you can
That's correct. We can have a discussion first. In public, we can move as claims, and because of names and whatever, we could then say, let's do that publicly excluded and have a full frank discussion at that point if we wish to. I'm open to that.
Did we have a mover for that recommendation?
We didn't have a mover.
We didn't have a mover, so we can make another recommendation and move it blank.
I'll look if you want, I can move the plan. Yes, so I'll move that exactly as it is with plan.
I'll second that.
And truly that was up to public excluded before we come back to that one.
Yes. So we need to stop now and discuss that.
We'll some of the others is blank or not.
Let's move them as blanks.
And then we'll halt. Yeah.
Okay.
For the reasons. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
We'll move them all then as blank. And you'll. That's the motion.
Yes.
For the public side of it.
So do I need to go through each one? Okay, the recommendations of the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board move funding applications for Momentum Trust, Ataka Thompson, Waimahi Community Garden as blank. Seconded for that.
You can do the whole lot. I think you said. Just do the whole lot.
She did. I did it.
Okay, sorry.
That was in favour.
Was me saying, and then.
So then we're going to take a moment to get our minutes and carry on to the agenda. We can come back into
Okay, move to page 66, Chairperson and Members Reports. That the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board note the April 2024 member report from Chairperson Chippy Rapkin. Thank you, Member McVeigh, Don Seconder, thank you, Member Gundry.
I'm happy to see.
Any discussion, questions? I'll just mention the signage. I was on that meeting yesterday with lots of people, and anyway, the ETA man was on there, and I mentioned the signage around the district, actually, not just that particular sign. And he was pleased to let me know that not 10 minutes before the meeting had commenced, he had emailed with the same concerns. So look out when you're driving around Taitoke in the next few weeks, eh? Steve Mutton. So it's probably anything. And the other thing that I just wanted to mention was the, and while we're online live streaming, is the long-term plan submission that is available on our website, and we've got until the 28th of April to make a submission. And just finally was the Hawaii opening on Saturday at 5 o'clock down at Recreation Road. So that's that. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Any abstentions? Thank you. Moving on to the Rural Travel Fund reports on page 70. The recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board note the project report received from Rawene School.
I'll move that.
Thank you, Member Edmonds and Member McVeigh. Any discussion around the Rawene School report? Okay, thank you. I'll move that. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Any abstentions? Carried. Page 81, information reports. Oh, sorry, yes, page 77, sorry. Thank you. Councillor Vucic has moved the recommendation that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board note the project report received from Young Jung Do.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Okay. Firstly, I'd like to declare a conflict of interest on this one. However, I would like to say that the name of the organisation should be the Kaikohe-Hokianga Development Trust rather than just Young Jung Do. So can someone repeat that motion?
Sorry, could you just repeat it?
Kaikohe-Hokianga Do Development Trust.
Yeah, happy to.
And then from now on, obviously. And my vote.
Member Edmonds,
Was there a second?
who moved that?
I moved it.
Councillor Vucic. Seconder, thank you, Member Fair. Any discussion around that? Project funding report? No. It did say send photos.
It would be nice to have photos in the report.
Yes.
Yeah, they're in there supporting.
Oh, and the other one, that's right, they are too. Thank you. Yeah, and nice to see the memorial wall being used so well, regularly. Yeah, really cool. Okay. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Okay. Okay. Moving on to information reports. 8.1, Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board April Open Resolution Report on page 81. Do I have a mover for that recommendation? Thank you, Member McVeigh. And seconder, thank you, Member Gundry. Any questions? Any discussion?
Well, some of these have been there for a while. That's cool. Yeah. Looking at a Kaikohe Bowling Club which goes back to 1223. I'm just looking at, is that not being resolved?
Where are you? Councillor?
Hokianga Bowling.
Yeah, that's page, sorry, that's the outstanding resolutions, the following page.
82.
Yeah. Just wondering what's the whole thing.
It looks like it's been passed. A new ground lease will be drawn up and put in place.
Where are you reading from, Member McVeigh?
Page 82 in the notes.
Oh.
23rd, but that's 23rd of February.
Yeah.
It's 2 months.
So that's kind of nearly over, is it?
2 months. 2 months back.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just wondering why is
What's the update?
Yeah. Thank you.
Any further discussions about that? Okay, I'll move that recommendation. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Any abstentions? No, that's carried. And we'll go back now to
Public exclusive.
source funding notification. This will, I'll move that we.
So through you, the chair, I just wanted to advise that it's public. It's a public meeting. The discussion around funding applications and anything inside the public meeting should be held. The debate, the discussion for the benefit of the public should be held in the public arena, meaning unless there's good reason to move into public exclusion, we would advise that you stay in public. One of the previous reasons stated to discuss funding applications in public exclusion is to have free and frank expression of opinions between members. If you think, as the chair, that that is necessary for any reason, that would be the recommendation to pass to move into public exclusion. So it's at your discretion whether you move into public or not, or you can have these debates.
Councillor Vucic has requested that.
That's what we used to do, was we used to identify that if personalities were involved, in other words, if somebody at the table had some information on that person and that person's privacy was going to be an individual's privacy is going to be violated. That would be a good idea, but the general rule is just because it's unpalatable, just because it's politically unsavoury, that's not a good enough reason.
So we have a mover to move into public exclusion. If yes,
For protection organisations in that respect. There's a minute, so we get all the exceptions.
and seconder to move into public exclusion.
I'll second that. All those in favour? That recommendation, aye. Any against? No.
So it's through the chair. Nicola, can you just confirm that the live stream has paused, please? Thank you. I'll just mute and
Kia ora, thank you everybody. Welcome back to our funding applications. That gave us opportunity to have a free and frank discussion about our funding applications. So I'll go to our first recommendation that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approve the sum of $2,000 plus just applicable be paid from the board's community grant fund account to Living Theatre Charitable Trust for the costs of the production of Bad Jelly the Witch. I have a mover for that. Thank you, Member Felia, and seconder. Thank you, Councillor Vusic. Have any discussion or comment about that recommendation, Member Felia?
Just around the distribution of tickets for our ward Kaikohe-Hokianga, we'd like to see that our principals of our kura here in Hokianga and Kaikohe are contacted to enable them to manage the distribution for our ward.
Yeah,
Have a comment, Councillor Vusic?
yeah, I concur. I think these concern how those tickets are being distributed. We'd like to see the numbers that have been issued and preferably going forward would be rather than using, say, the Turner Centre, as was mentioned, be distributing, that we look at the principles in the Kaikohe-Hokianga as Member Felia has raised, as a better mechanism of looking at suitable solutions to students that will be better, assisted in going. So that's the general concern.
Any further comment? No. I'll move that recommendation. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Any abstentions? Motion is carried. The next recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approve the sum of $2,145 plus just, if applicable, be paid from the board's community grant fund account to Momentum Trust for the cost towards the provision of life and financial skills program at Kaikohe Probation Centre.
Yeah.
Councillor Vusic has moved that. I'll second that recommendation.
Yeah, just as a comment, I want to move it. I think the initiative is a great initiative. What I would like to see, especially in the reporting or going on into the future, is there are many organisations that are based locally that do similar sort of services, and in the reporting it comes back to see that even though the full amount has been agreed to, I'd like to see that we can build the resilience and strength into the local organisations that they do, because that would actually help them in doing some of the work here and work in partnership with the organisation. So that's my comments, but given the amount that 2,145 as for the recommendation.
Any further comments?
Yeah, just absolutely need to promote with our local services and especially our in and around our hapu.
Thank you. Any comment? All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Any abstentions? It's carried. The next recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approve the sum of $4,000 plus just, if applicable, be paid from the board's placemaking fund account to R. Tucker Thompson Youth Sailing Trust for the costs of rangatahi from Kaikohe-Hokianga Ward attending a youth development sailing. I'm a mover for that recommendation.
Yep.
Thank you, Member Edmonds. Do I have a seconder? Yep. Thank you, Member Gundry. Any corridor around that recommendation? My concern is that for the amount of money that we're giving, we're only benefiting 2 children from our ward. Hopefully it's 1 child from Hokianga, 1 from Kaikohe. I don't know how the selection process happens, so that's a concern that I have around how those children are selected. But
although a contrary idea of that is that leadership, which is what this is all about, becomes a community asset. So you would hope that while they'll get some individual benefit, you would hope that the community at large over the years following will benefit from that leadership. So maybe that's all I'm investing in.
And just one comment from me, Madam Chair. I actually think the organisation is great, and based on what Joe actually said, and it'd be great if he is reporting back names predicted if necessary about the positive impact on the students there. I realise it's an expensive program, it's over 10 days, I believe, so it works out to be $400 a day, but it's quite costly. I do wonder, though, in making the application for the community board, other organisations potentially could be able to, if they have gone through for assistance as well. If that was coordinated, there may be a way of increasing the number of potential students that could be funded out of the Kaikohe-Hokianga area.
And just further to Member Edmund's comment about leadership, perhaps that's something that the Trust could do also, is provide some information about children that have been on the boat, years down the track, a bit of a follow-up maybe about some success stories. That would be helpful. Any other comments? Okay, I'll put that motion to the floor. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? No. Okay, our final recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approve the sum of $2,500 plus just applicable be paid from the board's placemaking fund account to Waimamaku Community Garden for the costs towards the community garden at Waimamaku. Mover, thank you. Member Fairley, and seconder. Member Guthrie. Thank you. Any comments or?
I actually think my comment is I do think it's a great initiative, and as I said before, seeing the growth, and that's why we're given $2,500 there. Seeing the growth in their capacity over the years, it's great, and to see that they're providing services to several around. I do think it'd be nice to have a strategy towards full sustainability, and certainly plant sales, produce sales and markets, and the cohort for training for those that do come along. I'm sure that would be done in the schools and so on. There's a whole initiative there, and I'm not going to say this is the best way to do it, and I'd like to visit as well, and maybe on Tuesday when it's week.
Monday, thank you.
Thank you. So, yes, I'm happy with that.
Any further comment about that? And then, okay, I'll move that motion. All those in favour? Aye. Any against? Any abstentions? That's carried. Thank you. And we're at just before you do, just a reminder about the long-term plan submissions, please. Any board members that are keen to talk about that after this meeting, we'll be making a submission on behalf of the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board.
We have just had the new flagpole at Te Piti Marae no Manaia, along with so Kaumātua Steve Moronga has raised funds with plaques to honour our own soldiers who have passed and returned home. And so that unveiling will occur on the 25th of April, and Saturday at 5 a.m. at the moment. Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll close with our care. Thank you.
E tātou o tai mātou ki te mutunga o tēnei huihuinga I raro e manakitanga. Nā ki te hoki o mātou e haere nei ki ngā hui ahuri tēnei, kia tai aue atu I runga o manakitanga. Āmine.
Thank you, everybody. We've got today.
Yes, we've got a quick workshop with me.
Is that the progress live stream was finished? Nicola?
No.
Thank you.